Ethereum has enjoyed a huge advantage over the XRP ledger due to its Coinbase pairing. You had USDC, the integration, the support, Coinbase investing in that stablecoin that started out on Ethereum before it went multi-chain. You had ERC20 tokens being listed on the exchange, and eventually you had Coinbase building their own layer 2 is an Ethereum, sidechain there. And so all the love, all the support goes to Ethereum and nothing for the XRP ledger and its entire ecosystem. Well, that's changing quick. And it starts with that stablecoin. That gets you integrated and it opens so many doors. It's going to be huge for the XRP ledger. And we see this announcement right here from OKX, one of many exchanges you will see this from. RLUSD just got more useful. Now you can trade any USD pair straight from your RLUSD balance on the new money app, no conversions, no extra steps. And this is what it's about. Because I said this from day one. RLUSD, if Ripple wanted to, they could pump it up to $5-10 billion. They could just sell a bunch of XRP, but that's not useful. That's not organic. That's not going to really be helpful long term if Ripple just puts their own money in RLUSD. They've been going out with partnerships, deals. We saw with Gemini where they're giving loans, but part of that loan is it's required that Gemini integrates RLUSD. We're seeing a lot of this, and it's going to pay dividends over time. The more trading pairs you have, integration with the XRP ledger, this is going to be a massive boost, and it's going to allow people to build applications and projects on top of the XRP ledger and get support from exchanges. It's so important. You can't only be on the DEX. You want OKX listings, Gemini listings, and guess what will happen? The more you do this and the more successful you are, Coinbase will have to say, well, we got to support it too, and some of these other ones. You also have BNB that, most of BNB's value comes from that integration, really a great integration with Binance Exchange and then everything they build on top of it. This has been one of the missing components for XRP, and it's starting really to take off. And I think you'll see over the next 24 months, that'll be a huge growth vector for this blockchain. Now we see Mike Novogratz. He says, listen, if Clarity doesn't pass, this system is broken, and it's kind of broken already. Let's hope it's not too broken to get this through. His point was, look, overall, this is a great bill for crypto. It's great for the United States. It needs to happen. If you can't pass this, we got serious problems well beyond just crypto. Now, we see this total outflows from Bitcoin spot ETF, 290 million, with none of the 12 ETFs seeing net inflows. Total net outflows for Ethereum spot ETF, the black hole of crypto, man. Ethereum is the dog. It needs to get going here. It's really sucking the whole, air out of this space. Ethereum spot ETF outflows of 65 million, marking 5 consecutive days with net outflows. Today was a little bit of a sell-off, both with crypto, traditional markets. Hopefully next week we start to rebound a bit there. But yeah, it's been tough for these ETFs. People pulling profits. We're seeing outflows. XRP really, for how young it is and how early it is, has held up pretty well here. Now, we saw today, again, 410 million in liquidations from the crypto market in the last 24 hours. But the sell-off wasn't, just within cryptocurrencies. We also saw that in traditional markets. We're seeing treasuries start to spike, some, tensions after this great supposed Chinese trip, tensions between the U.S. and China starting to kind of flare up a bit. So keep an eye on both of those issues. Bank XRP featured in the last U.S. Senate Banking Committee press release. Ripple stands behind this bill. America must lead. The full quote here, the Senate Banking Committee is putting in the work as it moves the Clarity Act forward. Incredible leadership. Millions of Americans are already in the market. Ripple stands behind this bill. And this is the important part because crypto, it deserves the same rules, not special ones, the same rules and protections as other asset classes. That's all we're asking for here. And it's interesting. Ripple, they're not Republican. This is not a partisan issue, but like good business people, they can work with any administration to get something done. You see Tim Cook, he's doing deals with the Trump administration. He for sure ain't Republican, but that's what someone in business does. They get it done with who they have to work with, and let's push this thing through. I think it gets done, but it's still going to be tight. I'm telling you right here, there'll be some day when everyone's freaking out. It ain't going to happen. It's over. That's going to happen. I can almost guarantee it before you get that presidential signature on the page. We'll see it play out. Crypto Sensei says the Clarity Act changes the crypto conversation. This is important because it's like, why? Why is this such a big bill? Clear SEC versus CFTC market rules for crypto. Who's in charge of what? What reptilian, agency do you have to deal with when you're working in crypto? This is important. This is part of having the rules of the road. New pathways for tokens to become commodities, and I'll add on there. It gives you examples of a bunch that are already commodities today, whether you're Bitcoin, Ethereum, your XRP, and a whole lot more. And it's not limited to those, but it gives you great examples. So it shows they can't come back and say, well, if you're a smart contract blockchain, you're not a commodity, or whatever it might be, any kind of weird stuff they want to bring up, you could point to a pretty comparable asset and say, hey, that's listed as a commodity. We should be too. This is good. They actually name examples. Banks preparing for tokenization and stablecoin infrastructure. So they're going to use this technology. That's what matters. And growing institutional focus on utility driven assets, things like XRP. It's all about the utility at the end of the day. This is so big, and I don't think enough people appreciate this. They're talking about what is eventually these ETFs going to do to the float for XRP. People hate it, but it is going to be a supply shock. Right now, 1.35 billion absorbed in 6 months. When you extrapolate that out over the long horizon, when you go over the next 2 years, essentially, you're going to see $5 to $15 billion locked up. That's going to make a difference in prices. Let me know what you think down below. As always, please like, please subscribe. The revolution will be televised right here on Jungle Link.